I've spent $53,450 worth of Frost Stars in Whiteout Survival in 196 days. We're on the last day of State of Power. We're going to have Castle Battle tomorrow, as you all know. I'm going to be recording that, but I won't be going live. I never go live with those because it's just too much logistically to worry about. But here's the thing. We don't have a lot to spend on, but for those of you who don't know, the State of Power, this last phase, actually goes a little bit longer. It's unlike other events where it kind of slides over into the next day by a few hours. So we still have some things we can do today, and I want to show something on pets tonight because I've been thinking a lot about this. I've got some comments from you. I've been thinking about the random luck aspect of refinement, and I want to show you. I'm going to spend a little on the gems tonight just so I can show you. Normally I'd save them, but just because there's not a lot of other content tonight, and I want to show you how that system works and to talk about it a little bit, I'm going to do a little more pets tonight. I'm not going to do a lot else though because there is maybe a little bit of stuff. I don't know. There's a custom hero gear pack, that just popped up, and we'll look at that. But let's take a look at the calendar first. Let's see what's going on. We have Snowbusters coming up. The rest of the calendar actually looks pretty standard. We have Alliance Showdown coming up with Tundra, and I'm going to make sure I try to get Balder up maybe for one of those if there's an an expert day in one of those events. So that's what we're looking at. We got the Heroes Mission, which replaces Gina, Officer Project, and some of these small little side events, but I'm going to be saving for prep. This does also mark the end of a cycle. I've been tracking my budget by cycles. So this marks the end of a cycle. I'll give you an update on the budget for June, but it's not really for June. It's like the previous cycle because it goes by 4 game weeks, and that doesn't really line up entirely with the months. So if I'm going to budget, it's going to be next month. But in the meantime, since we're not budgeting yet and this cycle's not over, let's take a look at what's going on in the store and what events are going on. So let's take a look first in the standard shop. All right, we already bought all this. We got nothing to do here basically. There's nothing to buy here, nothing to buy here. We're going to grab the daily deals. See if I can get a little lucky on this. 6. That's a tiny bit lucky. That's it. Do my weekly claims or daily claims for the weekly cards and the monthly cards. And that's all we got on that for now. By the way, while I'm in here, see a little 5% bouncing above my head? The standard store is doing a top-up special right now where you get 5% extra. It's the only store I trust. That's why I use it. I just topped off recently again myself. And if you look in the video description, you'll see a link that has gotten a special affiliate link for me. If you use that link, it gives me credit for the sale and I get some Frost Stars as well. What I've been telling people, if you want to support me and continue to see how this channel goes, if you want to support the channel and see how my spending goes and see how my growth goes, see how my personal development goes as a player, this is one of the ways you can help me, and it's super simple. If you're going to spend money in the game anyways and you're going to do it with Frost Stars, you might as well use my affiliate link and help me out as well because it'll give me a little Frost Stars as well. So if you want to do that, link is in the video description. All right, so that's all we got in the standard shop area. Let's take a look at the deal section. All right, we already did Vault of Enigma, so that's done. Crystal Reactivation, we can do some more claims on that, and that's about it. And there's not much else here to do, so we'll just take our claims and be done with this section. Here we go. Let's assign it and earn it. Nothing to do with Deadshot. Do my little deposit for my, whatever it is, 325 gems a day. And we're done with this. That's the deal section. That's it. But we did get this little Craftsman treasure pop-up. Now, I put this in my spreadsheet that I've been working on. I adapted a version of TorqueSim's spreadsheet that goes through item value. And what I come out with is the best value. Now, it's tempting to go for the chief gear stuff here tonight because it is a gear day for points, but it is also a pets day. It's tempting to go for all of these for different reasons, but what actually has the highest value, and I am trying to play efficiently, right? What has the highest value is actually the hero gear chest. Even though it's a mix of components and lucky hero gear chests, this has the highest value. So let's buy this. And then we'll take a look at the heroes. And then we'll take a look at the pets. Oh, all right. So it's one of the progressive deals, huh? Let's see how far it goes. Because, I don't know. Is it going to go all the way up? Is it going to have multiple 100s? I don't know if I want to spend this much on it. Let's see. All right. It does have one more level, and another pack won't hurt, will it? So here we go. Let's go for it. All right. There we go. So that's that special deal. Now, before I go do the pets, let's take care of the heroes because, well, let's take a look at the backpack first, and then we'll do the heroes. Can I get lucky? Nope. All right. Put these in the bank. 742 chests. Let's see. That should be... I'm going to say I should get at least 8 Lucky Hero Gear chests. Technically only 7, but if I'm on the cusp of a pity reward, I might get 8. So anything more than 8, and it's a good deal. I got lucky. Well, hello there. Let's count that out. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Thank you very much. I'll take that. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, sir. Man, well, that gives me something else I might want to do tonight. That's a lot of mythic. So that gives me some options. So let's go take a look at the hero gear and see what we want to do with all that. Because I do have a lot of essence stones that I can use. No mithril, but a lot of essence stones. Let's start with Reyna. So, yeah, meow, meow, meow. There's Reyna. So let's take a look at the hero gear and see what we can do. All right, so, well, before I do that enhancement, I actually want to see, because there's one of these guys has mythic that I don't want to have mythic, I believe. And I wanted to swap it out. Oh, did I do it already? Oh, there it is. Let's see if I can grab a mythic for him. All right. And I'm sorry, an epic for him. So now we have epic on all these guys. And I've got all my mythic saved. All right, I think that's all of them. And I probably have more, like Logan probably doesn't need it, but people are urging me to try to start working on a 3rd march as well. So if I did that, I'd want it, but I don't want to, I got to focus on my primary march first. And we have SvS coming up. I can't be messing around like that. So coming back to Reyna, let's first level this up as far as I can. All right, now she's maxed. So now that's going to be blocked on mithril. And do I have anything else in this primary march that's like that? No, this is going to need, that's going to need mithril. And we're basically blocked on mithril there. But what we can do is consider spending some more on using some of that mythic gear. Now, I mean, I'm going to need mythic gear for the empowerment eventually as well. But I can use some of that mythic gear for leveling up the stats here. Like I can Master Forge this. I think since I've been focusing my account on defense, and, you know, Lancers are a secondary form of a defense and a form of attack, kind of like sitting in the middle. We'll grab that, and that'll burn some stones as well. So, and I probably have enough to do another. The question is, where do I want that? And I think I'm going to go with... yeah, I think I'm going to kind of balance it out a little. I mean, it could go... Maybe I'll just... Because they get progressively more expensive, too, so... Yeah, I think I'll balance it out with the Lancers since I pushed Lancers recently. And I'll do it this way. That way my Lancers and Marksmen are kind of balanced out that way. And anything more than that, it's going to start getting a little expensive. So if I come over here and... Can I? No, I don't have enough. Well, unless I drop the gear off of Logan. But I can't do that right now. I could, but I don't want to. Because if I do that, then he's gonna be bare until I get more epic gear. I should have just dropped it off him to begin with. All right, well, that's pretty good for tonight. I don't really need to push the rest of that much anyways. So, all right, that's good for the hero gear, and I'm happy with that progress. That's looking pretty good. Let's take a look now at what I was talking about with pets. So, first, why do I got red marks in the backpack? All right, shouldn't have them. All right, let's go to the shop, and I'm going to buy some gems outside of where I normally would do it, because I'm a content creator and trying to show you something. So apologies for the slight inefficiency here, but I do have enough gems that, you know, it's not a huge factor. I would love to get points for this during Alliance Mobilization or Showdown, but I'm a content creator. I need to show you guys something. So let's buy 250,000 gems worth, 500 common wild marks, so I can demonstrate something to you. Here we go. Go into pets. I've been playing with this today because I wanted to see. People were saying, some people said it's been proven that this technique doesn't work. Some people say this is the best way to do it. I'm talking about the single stat refinement technique. So I played around with a little more. I did have good results with it. I see what you mean. I burned a lot of common wild marks, but here's the thing, especially into the purple range, I don't know, personally, I think you're okay, but what happens is by the time you get into purple, the common wild marks, it's like you burn through a lot of them with no stats because the auto mode is just going to continually keep on burning them when there's, if there's not a positive power increase. And because of the way the floor works, and this is the key that I wasn't really picking up on, because of the way the stat floor works, once you progress a stat to the next floor, you can't lose points from that floor. So basically the floor value is locked in. So I have these gold locked in. And so now if I start working on these lethality and the marksman lethality and health, basically the floor, the gold can't go any lower. So I'm basically, pushing those other ones up while I wait for the floor, and I can't go lower on the other ones because the floor is there. Now, even if you get to the point where the floor is there, it gets progressively harder, but the technique still works. And it's just a way to use common wild marks a little bit more, I'll go ahead and call it efficiently, because common wild marks are really not efficient once you get into purple. But this is a way to use them. If you're a whale and you're doing a lot of spending, you have a lot of gems, this is a way to use them in a way that helps get the stat up and not rely on that randomness needing to have enough stats go up that you get a positive power effect. You might actually have your power go down temporarily, but you're getting the stats you need. And that's ultimately more important. Then, I don't know, once you get into the gold range, I've heard conflicting advice on this, but it still is a valid technique you can use to try to go further, but it's going to get harder and harder, basically. And you're just going to burn a lot to do it. So I've got 500 common wild marks because I wanted to show like what it takes. So I'm going to pick a pet here like this one, I think. Let's look at the Lancer health here. It's only about 1.3 away from being gold, and the infantry health isn't too bad either. To me, I got to kind of watch it a little bit. Like if I'm going to have a net stat increase, even if it means the stat I'm going for takes a small decrease, then I'll go ahead and do that because I'm getting stats across the board. And then for the most part, though, if I don't get the stat I want, so I'm going to be focusing on Lancer health here. If I don't get the stat I want, I'm going to just retry. So look, I'm focusing on Lancer health. It's down. I'm not going to do anything with this. Obviously, it's red anyways, right? But let's try to find one here. So here we go. Now, this is a net replace. This is 0, so this is an easy one anyways. But even the smallest increase, and you're going to accept it, even if it means the other ones go down, because the gold is now protected by a floor. And I'm going to ignore that so I can not be annoyed by that. But look, here's an example. Like, I'm going to have to suffer a 0.1 decrease in the stat I'm trying to go for, but I'm going to get, a 0.14 and all these other stats on the other one. For this one, this is a judgment call. You play it the way you want to, but for me, now this means another 0.1 that I have to go chase though for the Lancer health, but I'm going to do this one. Because usually if it's going to me, if it's going to give me a stat increase of like 1200 or more, I'm going to take that unless it really is going to hurt the one I'm going for. If that was like a 0.2 or something or a 0.14, I probably would think about it again. But this is kind of my technique that I use. It's kind of just slightly modified. Now here's an example of I would go up by 240, but down on 0.05. I'm not going to take that. This is perfect because I get both of them going up. And then we'll just keep on looking for the stat we're trying to get up. And for the most part, I'm only going to accept when my stat is going up. These have been a couple good runs because now there's an example. My power went down, but my stat went up. Power went down, but stat went up. Same thing here. Power's going down, but my stat is going up. All right, ignore, retry. Here we go. Because you're locked in on those other ones. That's the key here. So the problem is if you put this on auto mode, all of these would be burned, right? Here's the thing that really set in my mind. If I put this on auto mode, every time you see the stats going down, red, that would be a burned common wild mark with nothing to show for it. At least this way, you're getting something to show for it. That stat, well, your total power is going down, is now contributing, and here I'm ignoring opportunities to grow power in some of these cases. But that stat is going down sometimes just to get that one stat up. And then once you're at the floor, then everybody can kind of benefit. So, and we're going to see how many, common wild marks it takes to get this one up by 1%. Because it was roughly at, what was it, 1.3%? Let's see if we can get a couple more lucky rolls here. All right. Almost there. What was I at? 521 or something? All right, and there we go. So we got it to gold. And it was just a little under 500 common wild marks, I believe. So now, if we, let me see if I can find another one. This is probably about 1%. I could probably continue to work on this guy. But it's the same technique. Basically, you want to, I'm just looking at now the infantry health, right? So looking at the infantry health, in this case, it's not enough. Nope. I'll take that. Oh, damn it. I was going too fast. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to scan for, what's the power looking like? What am I sacrificing across the board? And if I'm getting a positive aspect to the stat that I'm trying to target, I'm taking it every time. If I get a positive enough of, like this one, I may be willing to sacrifice, 0.02 on my primary stat because I'm getting 0.19 and 0.14 on two other stats. So I'll take that one even though it kind of went against my goal. But for the most part, well, and I'm going to take this one too. For the most part, I'm going to only take the ones that where my primary stat is going up. This one's fine. It's 0.01 sacrifice. This is the judgment call you kind of got to make. Because sometimes you're going to win, sometimes you're going to lose the stats if you play that game, but you're just kind of hoping you get more better stats than worse stats over time. So if I can take like a 0.19 and hope that I don't get another minus on it, I'll take that. And let's see, this one was more like a closer to 2%, I believe. But I don't know. I don't think it's, we're going to see if is it 100 to 1 basically? I don't know. I think I might have just got a little lucky on that last run. Now obviously this takes a little more time and I can't speed this up because I'm talking you through it and doing it manually. I mean, I suppose I could, but it wouldn't be as, oh, I missed that one. Man, I got to go a little slower, but I am trying to watch for my primary stat. So, but that was 3,600 power. I probably would have taken it. It just gets monotonous to try to stay on top of. So that's why you got to try to watch it carefully. And if you try to go fast like I did, you'll miss it every now and then. 0.05, no, not going to take that. This one I'll take. There we go. And when you can get power and your primary stat, that's good. But essentially, whenever I get my primary stat that I'm targeting, my single stat I'm targeting, up, I'm taking it. Even if it's 0.01. Getting closer. Oh, what did I do? Man, hit the wrong thing again. See, this is the problem with this technique. It gets monotonous, and before you know it, your fingers are just tapping on the wrong things. That was a good one I missed out on. That was a good roll. You gotta slow down a little. Make sure you tap on the right thing. I don't mind foregoing some of the power increases that don't affect my primary stat as long as it's not significant, because that is the game you're playing here. But you don't want to miss 3600 up with your primary stat in the mix. I messed up on multiple levels there. That was twice this run. So what you should get in the habit of doing is scanning not only your primary stat, but also the power, and making sure, like, this is, you know, I'm going to skip this one. That's fine. All right, getting a little closer. Almost there. This is feeling like it was probably right around 100 per 1%. Because I think I'm probably going to end up burning about, oh, there we go. Close. All right, there we go. So what did I end up burning there? I'm about 255. What was I about? I started at 5. I started this session at about 520, and now I'm at about 250. So what was that? About, 270 or so, somewhere around there. 270 to get 3%. I mean, it looks like it's tracking that you're probably going to get about 1% per 100 common wild marks. That's not too bad. And as opposed to, think of how many thousands of common wild marks I burned in the other session on pet day. Like thousands. I just let it go on auto in thousands of them. Now this does take time, but it does seem to be a lucrative, technique. So like in this case, to get this 24.78, the infantry health, to get this 24.78 to 31.28, right, would be, what, 6, 7, roughly 7.5 or something like that, 6.5, something like that. So that would only take, if that stacks up, that would only take like 700-800 common wild marks. Now that's a lot of common wild marks, but it's a consistent way to do that grind. So I just wanted to show this technique because I found it interesting that it actually does work. Look at this one. So this one's, I only need 0.2 to get the infantry health up, right? Is that right? 0.23. There we go. Just this technique is just, I was skeptical about it because I thought I'd be wasting more than I'm gaining, but because of the way the floor works out, it's just not like that. I mean, what's happening is once you get to the floor, you get locked in, and unless all the stats go up by enough, the auto mode doesn't accept the stats. So this is a way to kind of like lock in those stats and start progressing them up, because now you're locked into that floor and you can keep on going from there. So this is the technique. It's a way to use common wild marks instead. I think once you get to gold though, from everything I've heard, like once you get to gold, it gets so much more harder. But I would imagine the technique is still similar. If that's the way it works, it should work. It's just going to take a lot of common wild marks to get there because you got a longer way to go. So that's it. I just wanted to show that technique. Hopefully that helps. If you're curious what that technique is, there you go. And, using that technique, look, I was able to get, one of my pets to all gold now. So Snow Leopard is now all gold now. And that's looking good. And, it's the stat you get with it that you really want in the first place. So, and look at this. I get a bonus for that. So that'll help with the pets as well. Nice. All right, let's see. That's, I think, all I wanted to show tonight on the account, because that's all I got to do. I got a little bit more hero gear work done because of that stat. Oh, there is something I can show. I should have shown. I think I did show the state of power points before, but this wasn't a big push day. I just like basically did a couple small things, so it's not like that would have a huge impact. Last day, they had some savings up, but my total points are still looking good. I'm like 103 million higher than the next personal points, and the next one is hunting in my own state, so that's good. I'm glad to see that actually. So we're doing good there overall. Looks like unless they have a magic, 200 mil sitting around somewhere, it looks like we're gonna win prep phase, although 200 mil is kind of close, I think. A little bit too close for comfort, but we got it done, it looks like, and they got 8 hours to put 200 mil on the board, so hopefully it looks like we're gonna win prep. That's all we got there. Let's just take a look at VIP, and then I think we're done for tonight, and I'll get some rest and prepare for battle tomorrow. All right, so here's what we're looking like. Yeah, make sure I have all those. Got 3.3 mil. That's probably, by my estimates, I'm 5 mil away from the globe still. That's what it looks like. 50% of the way there, not quite all the way there. That's all I got. That's all I got right now. But soon, next week, after SvS and things are going to be calm. Well, I say things are going to be calm. We do have transfers coming up, so if you're interested in a transfer, make sure you get in touch with me. We can talk it out if you're in our transfer range. But that's all I have for you tonight. If you like following this journey, though, and you want to continue to support me, there's just a few things you can do. Number one, check the link in the video description for the Discord. You can join us there. We're playing some fun games. Every now and then, I try to figure out a way to reward people different ways. When the game gives me some gift codes, I'll give them away. And every now and then, if I can afford it, I'll give out some Frost Stars for playing some games and awards. So if you want to join in on the fun, make sure you join the Discord. It's a great community. You can ask questions there, and we can have a lot of fun there. The other thing you could do is use the affiliate link in the description. If you're going to buy Frost Stars anyway, you use that affiliate link, and it gives me some Frost Stars as well just for using the link. Doesn't cost you anything extra. Just use the link and I'll get some Frost Stars as well. And finally, maybe the most important, because a lot of people don't realize how important this actually is. Like, share this channel, share what I'm doing with your friends, your alliances, tell people what I'm doing here, and then like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. That way, whenever I post anything, you'll be the first to know about it. Thank you very much for joining me, and until next time, I'll see you later.